Gamers. Today I'm going to share with you a 2,000 point tournament list that I took to a Renegade Open prep tournament over the weekend. Share with you how it went and things I would change to the list moving forward. If you're not familiar with the Renegade format, there is a link in the description below so you can learn a little bit more about how that works. Basically, there are primary, secondary, and tertiary missions, and of course, those are all concurrent. But the thing that makes Renegade special is that you select your primary mission. So you have 4 different primary missions, basically kill points, assassination, where you select specific targets to kill, table quarters, and end of game objectives. So those are the 4 primary missions that you get to choose from, and you only get to use one of those 4 every 3 rounds. So yeah, I played in a 3-round prep tournament for that, and this is the list that I brought. Here's the army. There is a list in the description below, or at least a link to it, and it basically consists of a battalion detachment and a outrider detachment. For the battalion detachment, I have 2 crisis commanders as my HQs. Both of them have quad fusion blasters. In the troop slot, I have 3 units of fire warrior strike teams, 2 10-man units, and a 9-man unit. I also have a unit of stealth suits with homing beacon, a unit of crisis suits with 2 cyclic ion blasters and an advanced targeting system each, along with 6 gun drones. And then in the fast attack slot, I have 4 shield drones, and in the heavy support choice, I have a Arvarna suit. Now, I think it's important to note that Forge World is a 0-1 under the Renegade format, so that's why there are not 2 Yvaras here. There is 1 Yvara and 1 Arvarna because of that restriction. Yeah, and then moving on to the Rider detachment, I have a Cadre Fireblade as my HQ. I have 2 units of Pathfinders, both 5-man, in my fast attack, and also a Yvara with a drone. Now, the reason why I have the drone here, I think it's important to note, because normally I would never recommend bringing a drone with the Yvara. The reason why I have the drone here is because under Renegade Assassination mission, you have to kill both the drone and the suit to claim that objective, if that's what you so choose. And I think a lot of people would take the Yvara as an assassination target just because they know that it's going to be coming at them and they're going to have to deal with it anyway. So I basically keep the drone back here as an insurance policy. So let's break down how that tournament actually went. My first round I played against a Tyranids player that basically had Swarmlord, a bunch of Gene Stealers, a bunch of Biovores, and then a Gene Stealer cult detachment that had a Magus. When facing that list, my major issue was that the Magus basically cast Puppet Master or a similarly named psychic power on my Yvara. I made it so that he couldn't fire Overwatch. That made him very susceptible to charging by all sorts of nasty stuff. And while it didn't actually kill him in the end, we only got through two turns of the 2 turns of the game, but in the 2.5-hour limit, just because of things that are associated with playing with that many models and just trying to wake up at the beginning of the tournament. So neither my opponent nor I think we really put forth our best effort in that initial game. It was still a nice game, but yeah, we both made a couple big mistakes. One of the mistakes that actually I think cost me pretty significantly was that I forgot to remove my Arvarna from combat with the Swarmlord. That made it so my Arvarna couldn't shoot again the following turn, but also prevented me from shooting at Swarmlord and taking the last couple wounds off of him, which was critical for my kill points mission. In addition, I made some tactical errors thinking that a Malanthrope was not a character, but indeed it is, so I wasn't able to kind of scoop that out, and so I was out of position because of that. So overall, I think my choices negatively impacted me more than my opponents, and you would expect that considering he ended up winning. So I ended up losing that first round, and the things that worked out well in that list, or in that round, I think were, for the most part, everything worked pretty well. It was just some tactical errors on my part that really kind of set me in a bad position. So lost that first round. Second round, I played against a AdMech army, and I picked the assassination target, which, or the assassination mission, which required me to kill 4 of his units. I killed 3.5 of them, and he also chose that and killed 3 of his units, so we ended up tying on that, but I ended up losing in secondary objectives, so in the Maelstrom. So in that round, again, I think my forward operators worked really well. My Arvarna actually worked really well too. The Fire Warriors are really where I didn't get as much bang for my buck as I was hoping, largely because I was afraid to move them up. I didn't want them to basically move up and then get overwhelmed by conscripts, so that was a major issue there. In my third round, I played against a Ultramarines and Grey Knights list. Again, a very good game. I enjoyed all 3 of my games, but yeah, this one was a good game, and it was a bike intensive and a strike team intensive list, and so it was very aggressive. But sadly, Marine bodies do not stand up very well to Evara flamers, so I think the Evara pretty much single-handedly won me that game. Everything else was really more of a distraction or did some minor cleanup, but I had selected the objectives mission for that game and ended up winning, so it worked out in the end there. So I ended up going 1-2 in this 3-tournament list, or 3-tournament, wow, in this 3-game tournament, and I think it kind of illustrates some of the difficulties that Tau have. I played against 2 different armies that had a codex out, and the AdMech list, I think the stratagems really, gave them an extra 10% viability against my list, and pushed things more in his favor. I think it would have been a pretty even matchup that I had a better chance of winning if it was not for the codex benefits. And I think that makes sense considering that we tied on primary, right? So, yeah, I would have had a better chance of winning the second game without the codex, and we just need a codex to really be able to bring our best game to the tabletop, I think. So, yeah, overall things that worked out well. Like I said, my forward operators worked really well. Surprisingly, the shield drones on the Arvarna weren't really worth it, largely because for the most part the Arvarna was not a major focus of my enemy. They were more concerned with everything that was upfield and didn't spend that much time dealing with the Arvarna. So I have these 4 shield drones here to kind of hang out with him and provide drone support via Savior protocols, but in the end I don't think they were necessarily worth it. Similarly, my Pathfinders, they generally just kind of got shot off the board or were difficult to implement. A lot of the times I actually ended up using them for their pulse carbines instead of their marker lights because something would pop out of the left field there and I wouldn't really get a chance to throw any more marker lights on it. So yeah, I don't know if I would actually keep both units of Pathfinders here. I might drop down just to 1, as much as that I don't like that idea. In the end, the drone here for the assassination target, it did its job. It was a distraction, and my opponent did have to take care of it, but he probably would have been on that end of the board anyway and trying to take care of it that way. So I think it's a neat idea to try to use or basically exploit the rules of the mission in our favor, but I don't think it's necessarily worth just having that easy kill point there. So overall, like I said, I was happy with how the list performed. I think I made some tactical errors that cost me the first game and maybe the second game too. But that's basically just saying that I'm not the perfect player. So yeah, I think the list is solid though. So check it out in the description below if you're so inclined. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and of course, happy wargaming. Bye.